Manipur remains on the boil and incidents of violence continue to hamper the peace process. Automatic weapons were fired from Kwakta in Bishnupur district and Kangvai in the Churachandpur district of conflict-torn Manipur. Last night, and we also got to know that intermittent bursts of firing were reported till early this morning. Multiple incidents of mob build-up and attempted vandalism and arson have also been reported. Well, joint forces of the Army, Assam Rifles, Rapid Action Force and State Police undertook a flag march in Imphal, East District till midnight. An arson attempt was reported at the palace compound near Advanced Hospital. A mob of about 1,000 people congregated last evening and attempted arson and vandalism. The RAF fired tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the mob, in which 2 civilians were injured. Why is this something that is not settling down is what we are going to discuss with our panelists. Major General Sudhakarji, VSM veteran, geopolitical expert, joins us on the show. Glady Vaifi Hunjan, cookie activist, also here with us on the show. Maheshwara Thonajam, National Secretary of the RPI, also joins us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Glady Hunjan, if you can hear me, why do you think this problem is not showing any signs of not only slowing down, but some sort of an agreement being reached at this point in time? If you look at the efforts by the union government, if you look at the efforts by stakeholders, including some of the state ministers and chief ministers from the neighboring states, everything has been set in motion. But it seems that the core of the problem, the microcosm of the problem, has not been addressed. Why do you think this is continuing to happen? It's not that it's not happened in the past as well. But how difficult can a solution be? There are communities, there are tribes, but that's not only about communities and tribes. It's also about the fact that they're Indians, and there has to be a common platform, a common plateau that has to be cultivated for them to understand each other and stop and put an end to this kind of violence. Your thoughts?
My thought is, yes, we know that diffusing the tension for the first thing, that is the first thing. If we don't diffuse the tension that's happening, it will never cease. Whatever step we have taken, I think we're putting the cart before the horse. Like to diffuse this tension, the first thing is imposition of president rule. We all know that. And we also know that the governor will never leave her chair, will never sacrifice her chair for pushing president rule. So our only hope is Home Minister Amit Shah ji. That is the reason why all the women and all the people in Manipur want Amit Shah ji to take a step to impose president rule. That is the only thing. Otherwise, the other things that we do, inquiry by CBI or setting up peace committee and a lot of things, we are just going round and round. That's not going to happen. So we all know that. And the second thing I think is, we all know, again, Biren is the reason why this mayhem started. How can we allow him to chair us in the peace committee? Why can't another group, not both the parties, some third person can enter from the central government? That is what I want to say, that we have to impose president rule as soon as possible. That is the only hope I can think, diffusion of the tension first.
General Sudhakarji, what do you think is supposed to be done here? It was correctly said by Glady that the cart has been put before the horse over here. That means the understanding of the issue has not been of paramount importance. Are we going to see the president's rule over here? And if that does happen, is that going to also indicate that the central government at some point or at some level has completely misread the situation, and that is the reason why you have these episodes of violence coming back over and over again?
Vinit, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to your show. At the very outset, I wish to clarify to the viewers as also the co-panelists that whatever I am going to share today or in NewsX, these are my personal perspective and my personal analysis. This is based on deep research and studies. I also would like to clarify to some of my panelists and the viewers that I have had 37.5 years of service in the Indian Army. I have retired as a Major General, and I have been lecturing in IITs and IIMs and higher command courses on regional security perspective of India. I have also been writing articles for South Asian Time, New York, and Rajasthan.
So we are all very familiar with your credentials. You're a very respected and known
I would
person.
like to clarify, Vinit.
Yeah.
I would like to clarify before I respond to your question, because the issue of Manipur today is a very complex issue. It was always a complex. Historically, it's a complex issue. There are no easy solutions. So, having said that, by no means am I contradicting or giving any conflicting view. We need to be mindful of a couple of facts. That the complete northeast is strategically located. It's a geostrategic important location by virtue of geography as also the politics. The entire global geopolitics also is influencing there is an interplay, constant interplay between what is happening outside or east of northeast of India. When I say this, I would like to share with my viewers that there is a book written by British author, if I remember correctly, Mr. Bertel Linter, which has been referred to by quite a few experts in the heart of Manipur as on today. Very senior, retired, responsible officers in responsible appointments. This book is all about Great Game East, India, China, and struggle for Asia's most volatile frontier. So this book highlights as to why there are friction points coming up. It is coming up or it is emerging by virtue of the fact that the conflict of interest between China and India, they are at crossroads. That is east of Manipur, and particularly when you have an unstable country like Myanmar, the China-Myanmar economic corridor and the Act East policy, they actually intersect each other and crisscross each other. One is passing towards the Southeast Asian countries, the other one is coming towards the Bay of Bengal. So because of this intersection, there are many issues which tend to be taken for granted by many of the learned people. I wish to highlight a few of them. First and foremost, there is the external factor. To my understanding and research, I may be wrong, but I'm prepared to correct myself if somebody can prove it, that external factor today is actually responsible for weapons which have been looted, which are official figures I have been told is 4,500 weapons from the armory, locked and guarded in Manipur itself. More than the 4,500 weapons, there are state-of-the-art weapons to include AK-47, M16, which have been recovered in large number in past few days' time only, Chinese-made. You have the sniper rifles, you have the drones also being used there, you have the rocket launchers. Most of them have got the Chinese markings. So where are they coming from? They may be coming from Myanmar, they may be coming from elsewhere into the Manipur, but surely these are all made in China. So China's hand definitely is there as per my reading and analysis, and the name of the place from where these weapons are coming is called a Ruli, where the black market is actually in full swing. It is in Yunnan province, which is bordering the Myanmar. This is one point. Second point, whether we agree or not, this book also throws a lot of highlights on this, that the Golden Triangle, responsible for a large quantum of production of heroin and narcotics in different forms and contrabands, etc., the line of Golden Triangle is extending towards the northeast portion of our country to include Manipur, Nagaland particularly, as also to some portions of Tripura. There is a triangle forming between the three states. I do not have any specific configuration, but I have read and I have researched that the Golden Triangle definitely is coming or spilling over to India, which is a matter of serious concern. And now coming to the external factor itself, the border between India and Myanmar, we have a traditional historical understanding with Myanmar that 16 kilometers towards either side, the people who enjoy the common ethnicity, they are free to move, crisscross from one country to other. There is no such procedure to check the identity, maintain the credentials. Therefore, this understanding continues even now. And there are certain groups which I would like to highlight, particularly the PLA, which is in the Manipur floor, or you call it as the plain area of Manipur, or the valley floor insurgents, People's Liberation Army. they have close lineage and linkages with the Myanmar army or the government of Myanmar. This is beyond doubt. As per my research, this is coming out loud and clearly. Similarly, in Myanmar, there is a group known as PDF. This PDF group, at some places you will find it at People's Defense Forces, but most of the places this will be a progressive democratic front. This comprises of large number of groups.
Right, sir.
This is Koki and Chini group. There are almost about 26 of them. And this group has got linkages with the Koki and Chin towards our side. So therefore, there is a crisscross linkages between the factions, the groups, the communities of either side with each other, thereby highlighting one aspect that whatever happens in Myanmar has got a direct or indirect bearing in Manipur.
All right,
Last point, Vinit, if you allow me, is that the current situation is actually for 8 to 9 years or more than that, everything was hunky-dory. The normalcy has actually come out in loud and clear form. The level of violence has come down drastically. Why all of a sudden, without any trigger, without any this thing, and any kind of a flashpoint, why all of a sudden this thing took off in a violent manner? Yes, 27th of April was definitely a trigger, but was there anything which compelled either of the parties or the stakeholders to go into a violent mode? And 3rd of May, the All India Tribal Union Party, they may have gone in for a strike or a protest march, but was that justified and does it have a linkage with...
Let me also take a response from Maheshwara Talaujam,
Okay.
National Secretary of the RPI. Mr. Maheshwara, thank you for speaking with us, sir. Well, when things did become normal in the middle, why are we seeing a recurrence of violence and tensions? In fact, the mob at this point in time, the attempts to destabilize the peace and tranquility seem to be a lot harsher and a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Actually, most of the in TV shows nowadays, actually I'm coming to that point, but I want to express something. Actually, every people are more concerned at what was going on, like on 3rd of May, what was history, who are the cookies, how they came, and who are the is it the fault of the central government? It is the fault of the state government. Everyone was focusing on that point, on that view only. But as a youth, as not from the side of the party, I just want to express in front of the national media that what is going on in Manipur? Let's leave the past. Now let's discuss regarding the present and what is going to be happen in future. Because the Manipur is dying. Manipur is burning. Actually, our sir, the before panelist told in that I was hearing, he told the violence was down and it erupts again. But actually, it is not that. The violence was not down. The violence, in the national media, it was flashing like the violence was decreasing, but it didn't decrease. The violence was increasing. From a 3rd May to continuously it was increasing. After that, the Honorable Home Minister came for 3 days, and we were hoping that after coming from the from the Home Minister, when the Home Minister comes, the violence will go down and the normalcy will come. But it was not like that. It increases. After the Home Minister went, I'll just give you some examples. In the Fubak Chau, one area is there, some area is there, Fubak Chau, Ikai, Sugulu, Sero. Many people were killed by the militants group, Kuki militants group. After that, one BSF was shot by a dangerous weapon that is like a sniper. That is, you can inquire from the authority, concerned authority, the minister for concerned authority. The one BSF was shot that from dangerous weapon. It was shot that it was not shot that by a licensed double barrel or something. He was shot that by a dangerous weapon like the sniper. That means some conspiracy is going on. That another 2 point. A drone footage was recovered. That drone was from the this one Kuki militants group. That the police recovered that drone. In that drone, the footage of the militancy group wearing handling the sophisticated weapon was seen clearly in that. And another the one that ITLF, that Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, that group was also standing with that where with that militant groups with that sophisticated weapon. This clearly shows that something is going on. Why the government, central government, is not like giving importance, even it is for the violence going on from the last 45 days, but still now the central government is they might be saying that they are intervening, but they are not entering inside deeply. They are like the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, has to take the serious steps, including the Home Ministry, including the External Affairs, including the Defense Ministry.
But Mr. Maheshwar, the Home Minister did take serious steps. You know, he has been extremely concerned about what's happening there.
Yeah, he has. The Honorable Home Minister has stayed in Manipur for 3 days. It was like it is a great. He was like it is a great thing, because the one who the Home Minister spared his time for 3 days is really good for us. But still, that after that, he want to that Sioux militants, that Sioux separatist, that the Sioux militants. He want to that Sioux suspension of operation militants, that don't you dare use the weapons again, and for after that, when he went away, the violence again increases rapidly. Then the people are dying. People are dying every day. Now also every day, if you on the ground reality, the people are dying, and as you know, like there are many things inside it. I'll just say one thing. The victims of the Kuki families, Kuki civilians, their houses were burned on 4th of May, all the victims were outside. Mostly 98% are outside from Manipur, that is in the Aizawl or Guwahati or Delhi. So the media can capture all those victims. So I do agree, they are all suffering. But the maximum percentage of the Meitei families who are suffering are the 98% are in the Imphal only, are in the Manipur only. So like they are, people, the media people, persons or other correspondents can't capture what is going on in Manipur. They can't tell, they can't express. So the main thing is that I request the media also to give much importance to all the victims. I'm not saying to give importance to only the Meitei victims, what the victims, but the real picture has to be shown, because this is not, I'm saying you again and again, this is not between the classes between two communities. This is the classes between the Meiteis and the Kuki militants, Kuki Chin militants, because in this Kuki civilians also suffered. They are thinking that they also now the Kuki civilians are thinking that this is the classes between the two communities, and in every media the two things, every time the media or the media persons or the social media or any bureaucrat officer or any persons from the politician group, they always say the two words. This violence erupts from the against the ST demand by the Meitei, and the number two point, they always say that this is a clash between the two communities. These 2 points are totally wrong. I'm saying you again. This is not the first point. This is not the what to say. The violence erupts not for the reason that this is demand by the Meitei community for the ST status. This is not like that. That means the violence. This violence must be like happen not only by the Kuki community. The other community also must join that, but other community like Naga, they all did the peace rally, but they didn't do any violence. The violence was done only by the Kuki community with sophisticated weapons like AK-47. Why it was done like that? That means that is the wrong perception. That is the wrong thing that all the national media, all the Northeast media are saying, or not only national media, including all the bureaucrat officers, leading bureaucrat officers and all the political leaders are also saying the same thing. It is the violence erupts due to the ST status. And number two, everyone will say, "Ye do samudai ke beech mein ladai hai." This is the clash between the two communities. This is not that. This is the clash between the Meiteis, Norman Meiteis, and the Kuki militants. In this, Kuki civilians also is suffering, because the people, the innocent.
So what are you saying? There's a subgroup. There's a subgroup which is in fact tainting the entire community. There's a subgroup.
The militants group are controlled by that drug cultures.
Okay, Glady
mafias.
Hunjan, do you concur with that this is perhaps only a small part of the group which is also putting the rest of the bigger group in disrepute, and it's because of the nefarious tendencies and intentions we are seeing this kind of violence? Respond, please.
Yes, I will not agree with Mahesh say that. Mahesh say that it's not about FT. Then why do they demand FT? I will also not agree with what Sudhakar ji saying that these weapons are bought from China. China is involved. Please don't say such things on TV if you don't know the truth. The truth is, why are president rule not imposed? Let's get to that. Whatever Mahesh is saying, whatever Sudhakar ji is saying, if PR is imposed, if some diffusing of this tension happen, why is PR not pushed by Amit Shah ji? This is my point. I told you this is the reason why we keep going back again. Who should what is the stand of the Meitei? Who are refugee? Who are peacemaking committee? Who are not peacemaking committee? We keep going round and round and round. It will not happen. If this continue, it will keep burning. Many people will keep dying. Let's ask for president rule for both the Meitei and the Kukizong. And Sudhakar ji, please don't mention anything that make more tension to the community. Please restrain yourself from saying something. You said the same thing yesterday. I said no to whatever you say. Study the ground rules. There is no peace from 3rd May. We want separation from the Meitei. We'll be happy. No shooting in Kangvai. Suknu, those are tribal land. If Meitei die in tribal land, don't blame us for defending our life. Please. This is my plea. If we don't want to stay together, who the heck told us to stay together? Let me tell you, I asked Amit Shah ji, please jaldi se president rule lagaiye. I asked Her Excellency, the governor, you have seen the place. Please don't for your life. Even if you lose your chair, you will at least make a friend to the tribal people. Let Kukizo live in peace. Please, let's separate us. Please do president rule. Please, whatever it costs, please don't keep us under Meitei, period. That's all. Let's not talk who's the victim. Let's not talk who killed what machine they used, whose guns were looted. Let's not talk about any other thing. If we want peace to be together, the first thing, once for all, please push for president rule.
Glady ji, I completely concur with you. General Sudhakar ji, would you want to amplify your answer? Because obviously, there is not much concurrence to what you're saying here, that this is not a result of any outside force. This is a group of bad apples that in fact are tainting the entire community, or should I say communities.
Well, Vinit, with due respect to Glady, in fact, I totally endorse what she's saying. You require a neutral dispensation. By no means did I differ or give any kind of indication that president's rule. You see, what actually we should look for, the end state. What is the end state we are looking at? We are looking at peace and harmony. If peace and harmony is the end state, the means to the end state also should fall in place in a logical, coherent manner. What are the means? If president's rule is going to give us peace and harmony, so be it. Nobody is opposing.
Well, why do you think the government is reluctant to do that? They have had their shot at this. Why are they reluctant to do that?
Okay, fine. Now come. You see, no matter what Gladys says or I say or our gentleman friend says, the panelist, the centrality of the issue is a political issue. Let me just make it very candid and very clear. Had the government been wanting peace and harmony to be achieved at the earliest, perhaps in my understanding, whichever is the best option to my understanding is what Glady is saying. Yes, cut out all this governance, all the rules, the parties which are ruling the government now. You bring in a neutral organization or dispensation, have president's rule. That is the ideal thing which has been practiced over past 75 or more than 75 years in the country. She's making a very strong point. I endorse her point of view. But at the same time, Vinit, if you give me 1 odd minute, I would like to amplify.
Quickly, sir. We have run out of time. Quickly, sir.
That's one. Being a military man, the test of pudding lies in eating. What is the test of pudding that I try to highlight in this is that as long as we have no mayhem, as long as we have no violence, as long as we have no killing each other, there is a normalcy. I am happy, Glady is happy, everyone is happy in Manipur. But how do you achieve that with the current apparatus? The security apparatus which is there. I am with you. My empathy, sympathy is with every one of you, Glady, and with you, gentlemen. What I am saying is, in the existing apparatus which is available on the ground, we need to have a unified concept. We have to have a central unity of command. We need to employ and deploy the forces in an effective manner.
All right, so we've run out of time. Mr. Maheshwara, concluding thoughts from you. Just half a minute more, sir. We've completely run out of time. Apologize for that, but quickly, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for having me here. Again, actually, the madam told me that regarding that, why the Meitei demand ST. Madam ji, it is a democratic country. You also demanding the many things. You might be demanding many things but this is a democratic country, right? So we have the right to speak. We have the right to speak. This is freedom of expression. Everyone can demand. And this is not that you have to check the history first. Actually, we are tried, Meiteis are tried by birth. But let's discuss in another chapter. If the history opens, it will not go for you itself. And I will not say this kind of things because we want peace and we are not against the Kuki civilians. We just want the Sioux militants to be suspended. The suspension of operation, that agreement must be suspended.
Do you think there should be the president's? You think president's rule should be imposed?
No. President's rule is not only the solution. It's not a solution because if the president rule comes, that means like what they want, because they want a separation. They want a separation. As you check earlier, the madam ji said in those 1 or 2 minutes, when she was shouting in that point, she was using only the word separation. Because
all right, sir. All right, so we have understood your point. We have understood everyone else's point. It is still a very fluid situation over there, and it is a dangerous one at that as well. A lot of quarters asking for different implementations to sort out this mess, which has, lasted a little too long for national comfort.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.